Rise up, it's time to rise, yeah. Come with me. Chain breakers, we breaking from poverty. Chain breakers, we breaking from enemy. Chain breakers, break the chains off of me, yeah.
Rising above the storm, we are free from bondage, free from harm. Chain breakers, that's who we are. Free from depression, suppression and oppression. Generational chain breakers. When we move, we are atmosphere shifters. Building legacies for families, paving the way for a destiny.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have an extremely awesome night planned just for you. We have the very artist who created the song Rise Up, Chain Breakers. Listen, he's none other than Mancito Telfort. And I'm going to bring him on the stage right now for tonight's edition of Rise Up Wealth Summit pre-show. Mancito, how you doing tonight, sir?
Woo!
You good?
I'm doing very well. Yes, I'm doing great. I'm doing very great. How you?
I am doing well, man. I can't complain. It's been a journey to get here tonight. Your song is making its way around right now on social media, and everyone is talking about the hip beats that you've been put out there. The original song was a quick snippet, but then all of a sudden someone jumped in, my wife, and added a little hot sauce to it, and now it's a melody that we can't seem to get rid of. It's been playing all over for us so far. So, Mancito, tell us about yourself. Who are you, sir? Tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Mancito Telfort. I am a child of the Most High God. I would say that's where I would identify with. That wasn't my story at one point in time. To put it as a quick, I guess, a answer, I would say I was someone who grew up in a hard upbringing. You know what I mean? I grew up with a lot of problems, issues. There was abuse. There was all type of things, and then there was the streets. So I've gone to the deep end, if that's what we would like to say. If we want to use that, and that has been something that I want to say God has blessed me through, because I didn't know him, especially when I was out there living the way I was living. But that is where I could say where my testimony, where my life comes in to bring me to this point where we are here today, about legacy, about the impact that we can make as a people, the direction we could go, the culture that we could shift. All that was a part of the plan to get us where we are today, where we even got to meet with one another. So I would say that I am someone who came from of Broward County to the throne of the Lord, to back to the trenches, but now to call the people out, almost like Moses, but not as passive. We could get more like Joshua, because that's for me and Moses.
Oh, listen, I totally understand that situation. I totally understand when you say that. So, you actually was one of the attendees. You came as a volunteer to the Legacy Conference, now known as Rise Up Wealth Summit 2024 onwards going. And you came unexpected, no one to come in here. You said, "Hey, I'm going to come and help." And I remember you walked in the door, you met with our event coordinator, and you were on top of the game. What was your experience at the event?
I want to say my experience at the event was highly impactful. And I want to say why, because not only for what the material that was being given, that was being distributed through the vessels that was there, but the atmosphere itself, of the way that I was greeted. Because some places I've been, I guess if you're like volunteer or whatever, you kind of like got the servant, like not the good servant, not the church way we call servant, but the go over there lackey. I didn't experience any of that. It's almost like, even though I was there to serve, it's like I was there to be served as well, and that was different for me. I want to say that was one of the first things, especially coming from the background I come from. We're like big on seeing, there's people here for this, the people here for that. And I could say that from my experience, I knew that you were there. You and those who were also there, they were there really because they care for people. And I want to say that's the biggest thing for me. So that means that since you care for me, that means that the information you're giving me is not here to harm me. It's not steer me in the wrong direction. It's not to put me on a path of, subscription, living where I'm paying something that doesn't even help me. Is just that's not what I got. Because I could see that from a mile away. Like me and salesmen, they don't like me. Or saleswomen, I tell them all the time, hey, I like your sales pitch, but you was a little I don't want to buy it, but I understand the sales pitch. I didn't feel the sales think like that. So I want to say that was the community. The community was loving. It was kind. I wasn't even like all the way drunk with tape or nothing. I just just out there. So it was good. No one treated me like, hey man, that's the guy that looks a little rough over there. It was just love, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that experience. And my life has changed quite a bit since then. I went through a couple of things, but when I say where I was to where I am now, I have a greater hope. I kind of was living like, I want to say a melancholy type of situation, going through divorce and reaching out for a relationship, I guess, to like find stability or a foundation, because it's like the bottom gave out. Sometimes you try to reach for anything. If anyone is falling, I think we would all try to reach for something, right? Before we have those people like, you should have waited on the Lord. Yeah, okay. I mean, we're not all perfect, but and to go through what I was going through and to have this come out of nowhere. Literally, someone called me, said, hey, can you do me a favor and volunteer somewhere? I don't ever volunteer for them. So it's like, I get, like I need something to do. I think I volunteered once and he asked me to do something, but I should probably volunteer more. It's bad. I don't even know how I even said yes. Usually I'd probably been like, nah, I want to go down. That's what I want to do. And I just said, all right. I don't even know why I said all right. That had to be God. I don't know. It was something trying to pull me there. But I'm glad that I got there, because not only is that something, but I also, because I'm not trying to take all the time, but that is like, I got to meet you, your family, mom. She's my mama too. That's my mama. You know what I'm saying? That's my mommy. But it was just like, I never experienced nothing like that. It was very different. So
I
I could go
remember,
on and on about the impact. I don't.
I know, and that's fine. I remember one of the speakers you mentioned. One of the speakers was a huge impact in your life. And when you first met them, you met them on your knees. That's kind of the joke. You're actually buckling their shoes. And when you got to hear them speak, you said,
right,
that's the same person that buckled her shoes. She's like pure fire. Tell us about that speaker.
Yeah. Yes. That speaker is none other than Miss Sharice Lenore. You gotta say it like that, Lenore. You gotta put a little sauce on that, Lenore. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put a little bit on there. Put some respect on the name. It's funny how God does things, right? Not to rabbit hole, because like when I record, for the people who's watching, when I record, I tend to go in the studio and take my shoes off. I feel like it's holy ground. It's something me and God got going on. And when she asked nicely, it was in the, she was like, hey, can you help me? Basically, do we call it buckling?
Yeah,
the heel, buckle the heel,
yes.
right? We buckle the heel. I guess that's what I was like. Okay, and I went. I was just thinking, okay, I'm just helping buckle the heel, boom, boom, boom. But see that the person whose heel that I buckled was also the one that God sent to send the word for me in a way that shifted. If no one ever, if I don't, I hope we got clips of it somewhere. We need to post it or something. But the message that she gave with the financial advice, it's almost like saying, hey, we got all this information. We have the weaponry, but if you don't have the mindset or the mentality to actually go forward, to go conquer what it is that you have to conquer, all of this would be for no reason. And I think that's what shook me. Something got in there, and I was like, you know what? I can make it. Like, I can make it. I don't think I came here just to get all of this information to meet these people for nothing to happen. That would be, I'm gonna say this, that would be a great disservice to myself. That would be a great disservice to the event. That would also be a great disservice to the community at large, because that's what's really going to be impacted. Every individual in there. If for those, if you believe or not, I could say this: whether you see, Christ as up here or he's just another person, what I want to bring is the fact that his disciples, even though one was, he wanted to act crazy, these individuals, just a few of them, was able to impact the world to where we have billions of Christians today. And it started off with the community. And that's what I want to say is, that's why I would have to take everything that I've learned, everything that I experienced, and actually go out there and impact. Because if 12 people can turn the world upside down, as many people that was there at the event, I believe we could turn the United States is like the world right now itself. Y'all see what United States got going on. Hey, it needs some help. It needs some impact. And it's going to take people who are willing to be bold, to use this information, to stand against the tides of the culture and go forward. It's going to take that. And that's what I want to say, that this is what this event, I got goosebumps, but anyway.
So the question then is, you're going on this path. So then
the community.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, the community, I wouldn't want to be a disservice. I know in my past life with the things that I was doing, I used to be a cost to the state because of what I have. I want to say be more than just an asset to the welfare of humanity. I want to say that I could be some sort of multiplier, almost a factory of like, we're manufacturing generational chain breakers, a factory that pushes this type of mindset, this type of person out consistently. Just keep pushing them out, keep pushing. That's what a great disservice to just get this and then just do nothing. No, I couldn't do it. It was that impactful for my life. I'm just saying. Like, I had to find a way to find the word. I'm not the best at expository, y'all, but when I get it, it makes sense. It does make sense.
So then, I know you have a passion. I know you have a passion for the youth and in your community that you're from. Would this be beneficial for the community that you're in, and how can you, or how essential is this for the environment we're in right now?
Right. I want to say it's highly beneficial. If anything, if any parents are tuning in, the wrong path does not start in high school. I want to say the wrong path starts in like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, when to me, when children are trying to find themselves, they're trying to become a part of something, and around that time, the loudest voice of identity and belonging is mainstream media, which I don't know if you guys been paying attention, but it's mainstream media has helped send at least our country into a direction that we never expected, especially with what's going on now. And to leave the future in their hands, in the children's hands, because they're going to be the next doctors, lawyers, presidents, but to not desire to actually position ourselves in a way to impact the future is, once again, not only a disservice to them, but it's a disservice to us, because will be at fault to some degree as to why the legacy that we want to bring to the next generation didn't make it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, why not reach the kids now? Why not teach them about financial literacy? I remember when I was in school and I started going on the wrong path, the thing I always asked my teachers, and I used to sell stuff, right? So I had some form of enterprise, some form of entrepreneurship, but it was being used incorrectly, right? There's a lot of things. There's a lot of people who got gifts, like singers. You could sing for something positive, or you could sing about doing evil, but you still got that gift. You still got that talent. You still got that insight. So why not? Why don't we be that which influences whatever's already to go in the right direction? I remember being in high school with all this foolish stuff that that was the path that I went on. And I remember asking the teacher, because they used to always say, hey, go to school so you can get a good job. Go to school, get a good job. Go to school, get a good job. I was like, okay, that sounds good, but who are the people that give jobs out? Why y'all not teaching me how to be that? You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't want to be the person who has to work. Not saying it's a problem, but for me, I didn't want to be that person who like, I'm gonna be working like that. That didn't make sense to me. I'm gonna just work for like the next 50 years with these people who probably don't like me, cares nothing about my family, cares nothing about my future. They just want me clocked in. That is all they care about. I got my own dreams. No one's gonna tell me how to reach my dreams, but I'm gonna help somebody for the rest of my life with their dream. As if God didn't put something in me. I didn't even know about God then. I was like, I didn't grow up in church, so I didn't even know that concept to even have that. But I knew like that just didn't make no sense to me. So I would say them not being able to give me that answer drove me even further towards, hey, I'm learning. This is what's making sense to me. Let me just crank up on this wrong side as much as I can to make this money, because to me, this is making sense, right? It's almost like having a high achieving, driven individual who has all of these hand ties everywhere. It's almost like I became more of a when we look back to like the tribal times in like Africa or whatever, whether it's the Amazon or whatnot. What did you see? You saw groups of men. They went hunting, right? So they went hunting to do something, to bring something back to help their family. I felt like I did the same thing. I went into some sort of survival tactic of that, sense making for me, because it made all the sense in my mind. Like, I used to get good grades and everything, but making money young like this made sense because I was never exposed to what I needed to be exposed to. I didn't know nothing about stocks and bonds. I didn't know anything about that. I didn't think about real estate. No one taught me that. I thought that was a term for like people who are already rich. Like, we can't have that unless I have money. So how do I get rich? There's none of these opportunities are here. I don't see how to cross the bridge. I don't see which way to go. So the only thing I'm thinking is to run as fast as I can and jump. That's what selling drugs and doing crime looks like. Let me try to jump the chasm. Let me try to get over there, because I want to be over there. I just don't know how to get over there. And there's no bridge over there. And there's no one telling me to go over there. And for me to have to wait till I get incarcerated in prison to speak to some people in my later 20s to finally get books that like I never knew existed, like I don't want that for the kids. That's the reason why I fight the way I fight for the teens. I tell them stuff. They could be 13 years old. I'll be like, hey man, start looking up on YouTube about stocks or something, just so it could be planted in their mind, because I didn't know. I used to look at that type of stuff like it was just for rich people. I'm not rich, so it's not for me. And the only way I can be rich is if I'm an athlete, some sort of singer, or drug dealer. I didn't see no other way. And there's a lot of us that feel that same as that way. And it's sad because you would think that, go to school for 2 years is something that a young person is thinking about. Like, 20 years, I got to go to school for the rest of my life before I can make a little bit of money. A lot of them is not working like that, and a lot of our men, especially, it's not making sense to us. We don't want to go out there and be like, if anybody's on, if that's what they think, like, oh, these kids, they just evil. It's not really so. There's so many different I want to say so many things are persuading the perception of the people, not to throw certain artists out, but I had a perm before because Snoop Dogg was my favorite artist. I had a perm. I got a perm. I had straight hair in high school because I had an artist that was my favorite artist. When you start to see them dress a certain way, when you start to see them do certain things, this means that they have a role model like influence on. So not only are we not getting the information, but the bad information is all we're consuming. So now you basically leave your teens out there to be. Do you know how bad it is to say 1 out of 3 black males will see some sort of jail? That we have 100 babies. Let's just use 3. If 3 babies is born and they're black little boys, we could literally look and say, hey, one of them will go to jail with the statistics we have today. And I don't know if that resonates with you, that
It does.
Our country statistics looks at our kids and say, hey, it's sad, but one of you guys are most likely to be incarcerated, and then the other one might die or something of that nature. So why is that normal? If they can have statistics like that, we need to do something to like intercept that. Like we need to stop that. If they have this thing called what a public school to prison pipeline. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but how do you stop the water from flowing in a pipe? You break the pipe, right? You bend it, you do something. You got to intercept that stream that's going on. And the only way we're going to do this is by us going forward and actually engaging them where they are in transit at the time that is most impactful. And that is middle school, teenage years, because, they're all sweet in elementary school. They go from babies to drug dealers by high school. What happened in the middle? How was that possible? What's going on? How did I go from a 5th grader who just wanted to play sports, get good grades, afraid of, I mean, maybe some kids, we live in different areas, afraid to get a whooping. These days they could call the police on you, but they was afraid to get a whooping. And then a few years later, they're drug dealers. I mean, from a 5th grader, what is that, 10 to 14?
So then,
I
question
bought
is,
my first gun when I was 13 years old.
So here's a question though. So from what because you've gotten through the summit, through the conference, through life experiences, and you're now seeing it as yourself, where you are now a generational chain breaker, and you've already said you want to go into the communities and break, because you are truly a chain breaker because you've been through it to know how to break the chains. You know how to talk to them. You know how to grab their attention. So then how do we utilize this information that we have given at the last conference and the future summits that come along to help that community or that generation to break forth? What is your advice on that?
I would say it would be the same as that way that I would say the way that I believe that it would really work the best would say to utilize the same mediums that is being used to get children in the first place, which is the TV, the telephone, and anything that has to do with entertainment, because we can make entertainment that doesn't have to be raunchy. It doesn't have to be wicked. It doesn't have to be men and women and women. We can find stuff to reach them that doesn't have to be those things, because if you really pay attention to a lot of things that goes on with the kids going from the elementary to the high school, what's one thing that you see, especially in the community? Because I was always like smart, but I used to get picked on for being smart, which means that you're not going to fit in because you want, you process information faster. So you either want to fit in or you use it a certain way almost to entertain the people that you want to become a community of. I believe that we need to create a culture that does not denounce education, that does not denounce proper pronunciation. Okay, you're from the hood. I know I got my hood slurs, but if somebody does speak, I guess, preppy or proper, we should be able to come together. Like why can't me also meet with Josephine, who probably a private school background? Because when we really look at it, it's still going to affect us. We're like isolated in communities. There was I remember I got to speak at a conference, Appy, and a guy he did a great presentation, and it made so much sense. And he was talking about I don't want to use the wrong words, but he was basically saying that if people are isolated, right, they don't have these different experiences with other types of people, their circle of information is limited, right? So if this neighborhood, not only know people from this neighborhood, information comes to us, we will only rise and thrive by the information that we're going to receive. That means that if wealth misses us, we have nothing. You know what I mean? If no one comes in and says, "Hey, I just learned how to become a millionaire," and brings it back to this community, we have nothing. There will be no way for this to happen, and vice versa. Because he used an example of, let's say you're from here and then you go. So now you have a community, let's say the ghetto and the church, and there are probably people that crossed in that Venn diagram together. But now you go to a golf course or something. So now you have people that's at the church that also may go to the golf course that is also from the hood. But that's that small group, but you're expanding your network. Your network is now growing, and you become a part of these different things. You're going to become a different person because you're given this different kind of information. I would say that a lot of the celebrities, I don't want to blame them only, but because there's all type of stuff going on. But those who have those positions of power that can utilize their platforms to actually shift the direction of the people to be almost like to almost be like a delivery service to those poorer neighborhoods of this information, to at least spark them. Because it would have been great. What if Lil Wayne said, "Hey man, I think everybody who listens to my music, you guys should start reading at least 3 times a week. Read a book 3 times a week, 25 minutes a day." How many people do you think would actually do it? Because as soon as he started wearing skinny jeans, everyone started wearing skinny jeans. If they go get a new chain, everyone else want to get a new chain. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what they want to do. But why we don't have more people that has that type of influence, that type of media power, saying, "Hey, why not read books?" Like I still don't see nothing on TV like that. We got all the craze about crazy stuff going on, artists doing whatever, getting sued for who God knows what, and you still don't really hear too many things about the stuff that really impact our community. And I think that's where we should come in at. Whether it's the arts, the media, we need to do some sort of an assault on the TV, because our minds don't know the difference between fact and fiction as easily. And I could prove it to you. Have you ever watched the movie, right? You ever watched the movie? I say my movie would be the one with Precious, where because of someone in the movie did something you didn't like, you don't like her no more. Like, you know what? Ever since I don't know her real name, Monique Parker. Ever since Monique Parker played Precious, I never liked her no more. It's a fake movie, but your emotions was intertwined by something you know is not real, and you still don't like her. Why are we crying? Why do we cry about something that they created in production? Like, this is fake. This is all acting. None of it is real. It could be based on a true story, but at this current moment, that is not real. This is just it's just a production. It's put together that way. But it can impact us when we cry. It can impact us in a way where we could look at life differently depending on what's going on in the movie. Someone could look at something in the movie and say, "You know what? My friend is going through this. I'm thinking about maybe there's a different way to go about this." So that means that the power of the arts is higher than we actually perceive, but we just leave it in the hands of others. You know what I mean? We leave it in the hands of those who don't care. And I won't even blame it on the artists, because it's Lil Durk doesn't have $20 million the marketing budget.
So you
but
mentioned,
that's a different conversation.
Yeah. So you mentioned about being an artist. Now, what a lot of people don't know, or they might say on your name, recording artist. If you were to Google this guy's name, he laughs because he knows it's true. You will find about 4 to 5 pages worth of content just on one name, Mancito Telfort. His music has reached as far as where again? Croatia, Australia. These places, people are actually doing videos with his music and dancing.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
came to the event and he says, "Listen, I didn't pay for the ticket. It was free, and now I want to give back." This guy said, "Hey, I can write you an anthem or
Right.
song." I'm like, okay. He asked me 3 or 4 questions like, "What's your key words?" Generational chain breaker, legacy, generational wealth, that kind of stuff. In less than an hour, this guy already had a song, beats, background music, everything to it. What was your what was your influence, or what was going to your mind as you wrote that song?
Right. I want to say for me, what I was thinking about was what I experienced, right? But I also wanted to channel what I experienced in a way where um I guess it's gonna sound corny, but I wanted it to sound cool to want to be a business person. Like it needs to be cool to want to have proper communication. What's it should be cool to it should be appealing. It should be something that that if children to actually pick it up the way they should, actually be making fun of the person who's like, oh, you don't want to go to school, you don't want wealth for your family. Oh, like that's what I was thinking of because I felt like that is what the 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 event was basically doing. It showed me that there's a group of individuals who find this to be fascinating to not want to be poor. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that the urban culture they're not fascinated. It's almost the only thing is that it seems like there's no hope. Over here there's hope, and not only is there hope, but they're like, you don't want to do this too. But when we places where the information is not as rich, the people are not running into it so much. It's almost far fetched to them. It's like, ah, they could almost get mad at you because you're desiring to do something great, and it's not because they don't believe for themselves. It's just like when you had so many broken dreams, sometimes it's hard to dream again. You know what I mean? Even blame them. I feel like that's the main thing that I'm getting is that we, from the song itself, is to breathe life into to the community about what it was that I felt that I experienced because I come from that background. I'm not gonna lie, when I walked in there, I was like this close. If I did not go, I was this close, y'all. This I don't know, can get this close. I was this close to probably not making some good decisions because of what I was going through. Cause when I say I felt like I lost it all, I was like, you know what? This ain't working. I tried to do this. People don't care, but I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that I went because that's really one of the main things it brought was this level of hope that we need. We need that hope. We need that hope to even fuel the faith sometimes. Sometimes you don't have the faith, but you have hope that it can still go. You like, I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. But it's that part of you when you're alone and you're like, you know what, if I quit though, I'll never be able to experience it. And that hope is like what needs to be given back that I guess that mustard seed of faith. That's what needs to be given, and that's what I thought about the song because I thought it was just going to be like an anthem, something we could like, you know, put in front of the people, put in front of the young ones. Maybe they'll like it, and it became something totally now. Like I don't really know too many anthems that are songs that are
Yeah,
songs. You know what I mean? It became totally different.
yeah. The
Especially with
anthem became a song.
when she got on there, man, y'all need to hit the song. When she got on there, it became something else. It became something totally different. But I want to say though that would be one of the main ways that we could impact more people quickly because the power of social media, the power of media period, meet the perception of the people. And a lot of us either if we have audiences, um, no shade to them because I understand they're doing what they got to do to make money. Um, we're not using it. We're not using certain platforms the way it should be. And if we are, then we also have people fighting each other, which is not really conducive to the growth that we really need to see. Because there's a lot of people living in abject poverty. There's a lot of people that have no clue how they're gonna do anything tomorrow, and the only thing they know is what I call the survival tactics. Like, remember the nomads, they went, they saw other tribes, they attacked other tribes, stole from the other tribes. What's the difference between I don't got it, let me go steal this? I don't got it. It's more like a survival thing instead of a wicked thing, if you get what I mean. I think I heard something from um TD Jakes one time where he said, I don't know, he was doing stuff about like basically trying to bring entrepreneurship to the community. And I think these are the type of initiatives, if it's pieced together correctly and people can unify like they need to, people can do what Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, what these individuals actually fought for before they was assassinated, which is kind of strange that they were assassinated at the peak of, you know, of their movements. The Fred Hamptons, though they may have had different mentalities of how they did things, the whole objective was, let's move our people from one state of living to another. Martin Luther King especially, because he didn't have just a specific color, but they used a form of media at the time. They used podiums and national broadcasts, and we see what it did for us. But it also was used against us because I want to say that they were, maybe except for Fred Hampton, but they were assassinated in public, right? It's almost like the media was shifted against them by them dying that kind of way. At least Martin Luther King, I know that. I believe so. I don't want to be wrong, but I'll check. But to basically to have that narrative go forward that, hey, your shepherd has been taken out, would of course take that hope away that they once had. But what if you had 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000 of these individuals? If one did go down, unfortunately that would be sad. However, you wouldn't be able to stop it. It will continue to spread. It will continue to grow. We'll continue to become what is the proper vision and alignment for our people, not to be seen as a mockery. You know what I mean? Not to be seen as those who peddle doctrines of destruction. Like, I don't feel like that's what we're supposed to be doing. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of us have bowed down to because it probably pays
Very
the
true.
bills. You know what I
Very
mean?
true. Very
And
true. Because I remember when you walked in the room and you saw our shirts that says "Generational Chain Breaker."
mm-hmm.
You stood there for a while, like you're just like pondering, like, "Whoa, what am I walking into?"
Right,
And
right,
and I still owe you a shirt, but looking back at all that, when you first walk in the room, seeing that tagline, everywhere you look in the entire building, you kept seeing General Chain Breaker. You went to the event, you came out the event, and you said your mind is transformed.
right,
What to you, what to you does legacy mean?
right,
Well, legacy, generational wealth, and generational chain breaker mean to you as a person? I
right,
know you're a father.
right,
You take care of your family. You're there to support your parents, and you are definitely in the community. If anyone asks you
right.
in the city hall of Lauderhill, they will let you say, "Yo, I know Mancito." If you ask certain circles and you mention that one word,
Yeah.
oh, they instantly think of, oh wow, yeah, salute, because your name carries weight wherever you go. So for you, what does a generational chain breaker or generational wealth mean to you?
A generational chain breaker to me is somebody who stands not only in the gap for his family, but because he understands or she understands that a community is just an assortment of families, right? Um, that this individual understands that there's a responsibility by their actions to move their family, which in turn means move the community in a direction that is best for all. I want to say that is what a generational chain breaker truly is. It's because I guess a voodoo background, which some people may believe in, some people don't. That's a different thing. But the for me, my mom, when she did convert. I was like probably like 13, 14 or something. I was already going in the wrong direction when she converted. Um, but she kind of like showed the sign of there's something different, right? Where with her changing, now you have me. It took a little while after, but I got to see what the seed of what her change did for my life, which in turn gave my children a different life because I was, I want to say, my oldest daughter, we don't have the best relationship because I was gone. But I could say that if my mom never, if she didn't take the steps to break the chains, my daughter probably wouldn't have a father at all. You know what I mean? And now, I have my son. Um, Even after divorce, I got him, and I can see that I'm totally different. There's a lot of things that's changed. Like, my dad, he was always at work. I try to be home. Uh, he didn't really speak much. He come from the older generation. They didn't do much talking. I try to talk to this little boy all the time. Coming from a background where it was more stern and rough. I want to say more positive words, more uplifting words. I, these are the things. This is on a small note, but these are the things that can affect the community because what I implant in my child or children, they're going to go out there and affect the community because we don't live in silos. We don't. So a generational chain breaker, depending on what magnitude you want to take it to, you could be just one who just focuses on your house because that still sends ripples into the community. But I know me, I kind of got that gun ho mentality. I got that, hey, go hard. If you're like that, then you're somebody who wants to see generational wealth not only for you but your entire community. You want generational wealth for even the people that they love you or cared for you or wanted to see you do better, see better for them because when that leaves earth, there's going to be other people who are tied to them that has to live too. And you wouldn't want a generation of you don't want a line of people who's going to just continuously leave a legacy of destroying the world. You know what I mean? Because that's happening too. There's people that's their generations. That's just what they have. That's the history that they have. It's been a long line of we just destroy people's lives. We just use people. We see it in these dictator based companies on countries. Why we can't be the ones that could possibly shift that because something of ourselves will be passed down, especially if we have kids and whatnot. Something of ourselves will be passed down to the future. And like, why would you want to put it's like why would you want to put yourself back in harm's way 200 years from now? You see what I'm saying? Like if you don't do anything, you still done something. You just sided with the wrong side. So I don't believe that this is something for us to just sit back and I'm gonna just care about me and mines and all that. It doesn't work like that. A real generational chain breaker is somebody who understands that if I look at this generationally, if I look at this from here to the next 400 or 500 years, I should be putting things in place that will not only protect me, but protect thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of families to come. And I who wouldn't want to leave that? That's what a real legacy is. Like I think that's what else would you be doing with the life that you have if it's not impacting like that? You know what I mean? Like what would be the purpose? It would be like once again, that would be a disservice to creation when you take it that far. You know what I mean? Because the world is getting worse. But I also believe that it can get better. It's just people just gave up, don't care. They just focus on theirs. Hey, it's cool if it's a mass shooting, right? As long as it's your kids was in there. But what if it is your kids? Why do we have to wait till that happen? Why don't we just do something now so it's none of our kids? Because it can so well be my kids. It can so well be me. It could be my wife. You know what I mean? Like it could be us. Like God forbid, but it should be God forbid for everyone. You know what I mean? Like
correct.
Why not? Why not protect the community the way we should? I think that's what generational chain breaker is. Somebody who sees that, you know what I mean? Martin Luther King was one, but also the grandmas, this who was knitting the clothes and the boycotts, those who wasn't named, all of those people, they were part of it. So like I don't want to let the blood that they shed for us go in vain this goes also to the lighter complexion people, so it's not all a black thing. Because yeah, if America at war with Hitler, I don't know, man. You see what I'm saying? So even taking into account those complex, turbulent times, like why let those people, those who went to war, those who did these things on, their backs, who thought of a future, whether they got to live to see it or not, why would we just let that just go to waste like that? Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
So, question, because you talk about the generational past, who would you say has made an impact in your life, within your family or outside, what it may be? But who has made an impact in your family? Like, because when you drew the line of generational passing on wisdom and knowledge.
hmm I would say my mom and dad, because I really don't have much of a relationship with my grandparents like that. The one that I did have one with, she passed away when I was young. That was my mom's mom. My dad's mom, I love her, but we don't really have a relationship like that. So I would say growing up, it was tough because my mom had like a lot of like mental health stuff going on. But then when she changed, things changed a lot. But I want to say I learned a lot from my parents, even though they're first generation, here. So it's like it was Haiti when I got home. We was in Haiti, and then I went to school. It was America, and that was
Dual
that's
citizenship.
literally what it. You get what I'm saying? That's literally what it was. For anybody who's first generation, anything from a different country, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, because they don't have a history, really a deep history of being in America. You know what I mean? They came, I think, like in the 80s, like 80 something, and like how old is that? That's like what, maybe 40 years. Like that's all they got. Like you know what I mean? So a lot of stuff we always learning together. There's certain stuff that I wish they knew. Back, I guess, in Haiti, they didn't have to tell you about talking. Raise you around girls. Hey, you should think about this girl or this or this. They probably didn't think about that because they're too busy trying to make a life for us. But there's a lot of things that I want to say I learned. Like I remember my dad saying, even though I took it wrong, I didn't interpret it correct. I interpreted it correctly, but applied it incorrect. I remember he said, he was like, "You think that I want to go to work every day?" I was like, "I don't know." It was like, "I don't," but because I know that if I don't work, there's no house. You guys won't have nothing to eat. It moves me to go forward. That gave me like that sense of duty, right? I was like, "Dang, there's people that counts on you." Another thing he gave me, it was always funny. He said, "Hey, if you," I think he was trying to teach me about my friends, but I didn't get it. He was like, "If you hang around 10 broke people, what that makes you?" I was like, "I
Broke
don't know."
it.
He said, "That make you the 11th broke person." And we laughed about it, and I took it wrong. I was like, "Okay, so that means that I got broke drug dealer friends. I need to go get some rich ones." And that took it took you to a whole nother type of world. But I did learn, even if I misinterpreted, but those type of gems were what I was able to think about later. It's like what the word says about train up a child and the way they should go. There's a lot of times, for those who are actually trying to teach, trying to give to their children and their grandchildren. Unfortunately, there are a lot of grandparents who gotta like raise the kids, especially with our generation, like my generation. Um, that these things that we are passing on to our kids, yes, they may not be receiving it right now for those who are actually trying to give it to them on a consistent basis, but it it does hold weight. It does matter. Because when I was locked up, I did start thinking about what my dad said. I wish we had more interactions where it was deeper, but for the little bit, it just started to come back. You know what I mean? For that little bit that did make sense, it started to do something, because I want to say, you know, like I'm fortunate that I even had a dad, right? A lot of individuals, they didn't, and as bad as I was in the streets, due to whatever decisions and things happen, um, I could just imagine for the person who, and when they got locked up, they didn't have that. All they thought of was like, I still need to find a way to take care of my mom because I don't have a dad at all, and that just
Mm-hmm.
shows that little small piece is actually major. So how many of us who can, we probably can't fill the void of a real father to somebody, especially because you're not the biological father. But maybe there's something you can do. Like a lot of the coaches, like the football, basketball coaches, they actually play a very powerful role in a lot of these young men and young women lives. You know what I mean? Like they're filling a gap that's it's a void. But what if we had a community of individuals who that's what we all did? You know what I mean? Like we're all thinking like that, not just a few people who get it or
Exactly.
somebody who has a passion in a certain thing. Yeah, I think that's what we'll see the effects go further and deeper. Um, and I want to say generationally, I would say I give that to him. He did teach me how to work. Like even I was bad, y'all. I just did my work ethic was in the wrong stuff. But when I apply myself, I can work. It depends on what it is. But I could get
So that's
like
good
that.
that
I could get
that you had a
laser
father.
focus, and I know.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So that's one of the things that you mentioned while ago. Your father.
yeah,
I look back at many people don't have the opportunity to have parents in their life that give them advice. But even though sometimes we like dad don't know
right.
anything. But as you mentioned, when life became hard, every single nugget he
Yeah,
dropped, every seed that he planted started to spring up, and that's a very good
right,
thing because I've seen the change in your
right.
life. I've seen you progress, and you go hard for Rise Up. You
You
always talk
personally
about
did.
it. I wouldn't say me at all, but sir. But one of the things I want to say is before we wrap up and put on your
Yeah.
release your song, this is actually the event that's coming up we're talking about, guys. And Mancito is
It,
always
it's our
talking about,
song.
listen.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. So we got here Sharice Lenore. She's coming back. We got Dr.
Yeah.
Jessica is back. We got Brianna, Mark Coley, and Rashawn Faust. That's for only the adults now. But we've been talking about
Yes.
the teens all this time. So this is the part where Manacito is the most proudest part because our mission is to fill this room of teenagers. Now I know it's the teens, but it could be as age 10, age
Yes.
11, age 12, because we want to make sure if they are mature mindset and they want to learn more about money, about entrepreneurship, they're going to be in this room. Phil, this is just for teenagers alone. This entire room is just for them. And these are the speakers.
Mm.
Genevieve Corral Harris. This is a six-figure earner
Yes.
and business strategist who's going to be teaching your kids. This is the
Yes.
next person right here. She's a six-figure earner. She's in real estate, finance, things of nature. She is a perfect example of what you call a generational chain breaker. Her dad came here as an
Mm.
immigrant from the Caribbean, built up his portfolio. He's in real estate and development. His daughter, which is Shay right here, Shay Ginger, she came in and she followed in the footsteps of her parents, her dad, by
Right.
learning this very tool. Now today she's empowering families to own their own home. They're building developments, they're doing different
Mm.
things around the world. When I tell you do not want to miss this event, listen. The ticket
Right.
prices have already been dropped to the lowest to ensure that families can make it. For teenagers, $35. For early bird VIP is $197.
Mm-hmm.
$95. Now we're not saying, listen, you don't want to miss this event. You
No.
people have already seen this event has changed lives.
Yes.
We're not just saying come to event, get knowledge, and go home. It's
No.
tangible. You can see it, feel it, touch it, and go home with it and transform not just your life, but what about your children? There's
Right.
a song that I love so much. It's called I Was Here. It's not written by Beyonce, but when she sings that song, and you listen to the words, I lived, I died, I was here. It talks
Mm.
about leaving a legacy. I always tell people jokingly, I don't have kids right now. One day they will come. But
Amen.
I tell people all the time, if I was to die tomorrow, I hope I will leave an oily fingerprint left behind. That those who see the fingerprint will see the legacy and the things I've left behind that others can follow. I
Right.
hope that I've been to impact people's lives because these events are not This event is my passion. It's my
Yeah.
very heartbeat. Is my desire to see families change. My dad was not in my life, but guess what? I had a mother. When I say a mother who was my pillar, my strength, my everything. She kept me. She taught me things that today, if I look back and did apply them, I wouldn't be in certain places I am or went through in life.
Mm.
So I tell people all the time, when your parents are talking, when parents talk, kids are actually listening, but they may not
Yeah.
act out right then and there. Do
Yes.
not give up on your kids. You
Yeah.
can be a generational chain breaker. It's not about leaving millions of dollars. How about teaching your children? If you speak a foreign language, pass on that to your children. If you
Amen.
know how to cook, teach your children. Legacy is not just about wealth and prosperity and all the riches and glam, but how about traditions, family lessons? The Bible talks about it strictly. Train up a child in the way they should go,
Mm.
that they will never depart from it.
Right.
I'm now age 40, I ain't gonna say 40 something. And up until today, I can still remember the sayings and trainings of my grandmother
Mm.
in my life. So, without further ado,
Yeah.
listen, we're gonna pop this song off. This is the song that was actually written by Mancito and my darling wife, Afisha Payne. This song is very expressive of what the event came about. And I'm going to play the full version for the first time ever on social media. And the song is called Rise Up Chain Breakers. Take
Amen.
a listen, guys.
Living legends, what we built. Legacy for our children. Did you feel it in your spirit? You speaking, I
Is
know
it
you
playing?
hear it. Lord,
Yeah, it's playing.
rise up, oh yeah, yeah,
You got to start from the
yeah.
beginning.
Rise up, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Come with me.
I'm trying to restart it, but it's not restarting for some reason. Don't know why.
Chain breakers, we break from poverty. Chain breakers, we break from enemies. Chain breakers, breaking chains off of me. Yeah.
Well, it's good right there.
Rise up, it's time to rise.
I got to hear her sing, y'all. She did good.
Rise up, it's time to rise. Yeah. Come with me. Chain breakers, we break from poverty. Chain breakers, break from enemies. Chain breakers, breaking chains off of me. Yeah.
Rising above the storm, we are free from bondage, free from harm. Chain breakers, that's who we are. Free from depression, suppression, and oppression. Generational chain breakers. When we move, we are atmosphere shifters. Building legacies for families, paving the way for a destiny.
Rise up, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Rise up, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Come with me. Chain breakers, we break from poverty. Chain breakers, we break from enemies. Chain breakers, breaking chains off me, yeah. Rise up, it's time to rise, yeah. Rise up, it's time to rise, yeah. Come with me. Chain breakers, we breaking from poverty. Chain breakers, we breaking from enemies. Chain breakers, breaking chains off of me, yeah.
Yeah. That was the perfect part. God know what he doing. Yeah, he did. That was good. She did so good. Y'all did good. Hey, man, I got the clip. Glenn was dancing. Yeah. DM me if you want to see him dancing. I'll just play.
If y'all DM him, y'all can't come to conference.
Got this. He was dancing, y'all. I ain't talking about
No.
1, 2. He was, hey.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know that. That's the other side of Glenn that people never get to see much of. But I love to break the dance out. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
So here's a question. A lot of people always tend to
he was dancing, y'all.
Why should I attend Rise Up? Why should I attend Rise Up Wealth Summit? Like seriously, why should I even come?
Say this, right? I would say for the community. The reason why, this is if for those of us who really want to take a real look. If you look at what the 6 people who you talk to on a daily in your life, in 10 years, do you believe that with this current team of individuals that you currently speak, do you believe that you will be where you want to be in 10 years? Because you're most likely going to be what Les Brown said, a few $1,000s from these individuals, right? Or you don't have that, or you have that, but you would like to be able to add some value to that group of people that's already probably in that direction. Why not also to a place, get the information, and find a community of individuals who possess that same mentality and will hold you accountable? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, because I didn't have that until I came. Now, like, to be lazy, you know, I got like 3 homies. And Glenn, you make 4 of them. I got 3 homies who, if I get lazy, they're gonna you know what I'm saying? But when it's all 4 of y'all, and I'm trying to find somebody to agree with me on the foolishness I got going on. You know what I mean? And I can't do that because y'all just all together. Like, nah, you tripping. You need that. And like, I can't get away. Like, I just be like, okay, let me not call y'all because I'm not gonna get the answer that I think that's what Ahab, right? For anybody, Ahab didn't want to choose the right person because he knew that he gonna get the real message. Yeah, that we like to go to the people who will shoot you or help you feel what it is, who will pacify you. You know what I mean? If you really want to change or you want to different, you should come for this community because they're not gonna pacify you. Ain't nobody pacifying nothing. They love you, but they're not gonna pacify you. You're either gonna be pushed into greatness or not. If you want to be pushed into greatness, that is why I would go, because it will be different. It will be, I guess, uncomfortable because you're gonna be doing stuff you never thought of. You're gonna be meeting people who are gonna give you ideas you never thought of, and after you get these ideas, you know what's gonna happen? You will never be the same. You will get this thing called godly discontent because God showed you that there's more for your life, and He also presented a path. And you're just gonna be mad and miserable at home because now you don't have an excuse. It's been presented. It's been shown to you, and not only has it been shown to you, but it's been shown to you in a way that you know is accessible. You know you can make it. You can't even quit no more. That's why I would go, to be a part of something that I know I can't quit anymore because I know that success is imminent. The only way that it won't happen is if I have to leave Earth or I quit. So it's no longer an outside, what would you say? It's no longer out of my power. And that's what I want to say is very, you know what, that is powerful. The community is very empowering because there is no excuse. You cannot run an excuse with Sharice. You can't run an excuse with nobody. You can't even bring up an excuse. You just need to find a different way to answer that problem. Right or wrong? Is it not like that?
Correct. Dr. Jessica.
There's no such thing as giving up.
No.
You got to find a different way to answer that.
No, because if you
and I feel like that's what we need. If we're going to generational chain breakers, I believe the generation itself should be minded to be chain breakers. And I know that you'll find that community there.
So it's kind of funny you said that, because when you look at these 5 people here on the main stage who are doing the adults, Sharice, he's talking about, she is a business strategist. She goes deep in and she pulls out the entrepreneur inside of you. She pulls out the purpose, the passion inside of you, and she makes it become a reality. She is a vision. She captures the vision and brings to life. Dr. Jessica in the middle right here, she actually is a Forex trader. Her story is impactful. From marriage, divorce, went bankrupt, went through financial issues, got to issue in a criminal situation, got issues there. But guess what? At the end of the day, God restored her. She asked God for a skill set. God gave her the skill set to do trading. Now she's a multimillionaire. And she's going back. That's the key part. Yes. She's going back into the community to make an impact by teaching others to be generational chain breakers. Then we got Brianna Anderson right here in Florida. She is all about business credit in general, getting you to the point where you can put your dreams and visions to money to get funding. That's what she does all day long. Mark Coley in the purple jacket, he is a mindset strategist. She's going to condition your mind, shift your mind into believing and actually fulfilling the purpose and dreams. These people actually come in to infuse themselves and give you nuggets. Now, I can tell you right now, if you sit down with any one of these individuals, especially Rashawn Fowles, the one holding his tie, he is a financial strategist. He has helped people put money back in their plate on the table that's hiding around. He has been able to secure the bin. If you sit down with each one of these individuals and try to meet with them on a one-on-one basis, it's much more expensive than the ticket. But because of my relationship with them, they're coming to give you
like
all. No, I'm being honest. They go on stage, they don't hold back nothing. They give you everything. They don't say, well, here's some and then pay $5 for the rest. No, they give you everything. They give an entire blueprint that when you leave that place, you have something tangible to go home with. You don't walk home feeling all fuzzy. They give you the knowledge, the wisdom, and go for it. So tonight, we just want to conclude by saying thank you, Mancito, for your act of kindness to do this song for the Rise Up World Summit. I can't wait to see next year's event come to pass. Listen, this has been a lot of prayer, sweat, and tears, and a few, tears. I'm being honest. Sometimes we cry. As a team, we cry. Like, how in the world did we get to this place? We didn't expect this to blow up this big, but it's now becoming, as someone told me, it's becoming a movement throughout South Florida, throughout the U.S. And don't be surprised if you see us in the Bahamas in a year or two.
Yeah.
We're going to be soon.
Yeah.
Rise Up is going places. Rise Up is traveling the country. We've got invitations to go to other states already. So guess what? We've been moving there soon. Don't worry. But listen, guys, if you don't want to miss this event, we do this every Tuesday of the week to bring on people who have been impacted, the speakers who may be the honorees. Listen, it's a one-day event, one day. And guess what? When you come, you're going to get well treated. You're going to get food served. You're going to have your parking covered.
Go ahead. Good, y'all. It was good food. Y'all know them events be having that nasty food. That food was good. I am not going to lie.
We have a celebrity chef who actually comes out, cooks, prepares the food exquisitely for you guys. VIP, you get served your meal, no lines. You get content to the speakers. VIP also gets access to the speakers to pick their minds for no cost extra, just to pick their minds.
Right.
So I can't wait to see what's going to happen next year. I'm ecstatic. If you want to get tickets right now, tickets are available. Listen, if you want to know how tickets come, okay, so here you go. Tickets are available by going to www.riseupwealthsummit.com. Simple as that. Now, if you're looking to if you're a business person looking to be a vendor or a sponsor to get spotlight, just go to the website, legacyliveshere.org, and we can definitely set you up with event sponsorship or event vendoring. Now, this is the last one we're going to mention right here. Sponsor a teen. You saw we talked about where we're going to put the teenagers this year. All this costs money. To have these speakers come in to share their knowledge for six-figure earners, share knowledge with teenagers and still give them. And these kids don't get box lunches, guys. They get the same food as adults. This year, what do we have this year? We had what? We had Jean or black rice. We had salad. We had chicken. We have salmon. Listen, it's not no box food. We actually have great food packaged out ready for you. So the kids are also getting well fed that day, guys. And if you're looking to,
I gotta get 2 plates.
And if you're looking to be a volunteer, we are definitely looking for volunteers. Volunteers. If you want to come out and volunteer, it's going to give you opportunity to get the content and still get a chance to give back. So So hope to see you guys in 2024. The event is April 27th.
Right.
April 27th, 2024, Rise Up World Summit. So, guys, we just want to tell you thank you for coming on tonight. Hope to see you in 2024.
Yes.
Let's ride it out. You take care, guys. Take care.
You know it.
We do this for the generation. The generation. We do this for the generation. The generation. Breaking chains for the generation. Rise up, we gon' make it happen, just tellin' that time's up. Breaking chains, make a chain while running them bands up. Suiting ties, you divide, depositing grands up. Educating on the millions, come on, let's make a million. We in business by building, that's how we gon' raise the ceiling. Living legends, what we building. Legacy for our children, did you feel it in your spirit?